Good morning. I'm higher vibrations and so are you. There have been so many people reaching out, and my apologies for not having made a video for so long in this way. I mean, I've gone live. It's just the time. I've been very consumed. I've had a lot of different things occurring in my life just as well as yours. So starting around the full moon, remember that was our third super moon in a row, and we're gonna have a fourth super moon soon, and so so far I've not been able to find any resources anywhere saying this has ever occurred before. But I mean, if you have any information, please comment and let me know. There's since then a lot has happened for many of us. So that was like the 28th, I believe, of August. And then many of us have been going through this really crazy purge, right? It's been really cool to get rid of, to allow those things to release in the end. However, during the expression of it, it's not been very enjoyable. We've been having a real big increase in like the sense of the full body vibration, and fluctuation. I've actually felt myself like I feel like that I'm moving to the side of myself while I'm walking for a minute, and then like as if I'm shifting where I'm at frequency wise. It's very bizarre. It's very bizarre. Ear ringing increasing, going up really loud. Like this vertigo, dizziness, lightheaded sensation. Well, you're noticing also that it seems like I'm overcompensating. I'm trying to find my balance, like the balance. It's just like it's hard to stabilize. So for some reason, and this is something that's been happening for a lot of us. People have been talking about it across the board. A lot of mouth, dental, oral, sinus draining kind of stuff. Trauma on the mouth and just need for dental work. There's also been a lot of headache reports of headaches, especially like as if this muscle, it would like a hand, a series of muscles that go up and around the ear and down both sides. This area we're having a lot of like discomfort, headache related, a lot of like third eye kind of activation is what I'm getting. And a lot of people are talking about that headband still, and that could go out like this. I noticed that for a long time there were certain spots in my head where the headache would like burst through. It would go very quickly through my body, and I'd notice it exiting usually in a specific point. And the level of the discomfort could be declared a migraine if it was stuck around very long, but it just didn't, which was awesome. I'm all good about it leaving soon. And so it really can't be called a migraine, but it basically was, right? Anyway, just recently I started to notice now I'm having these really weird sores in these exact spots where I was noticing that, and I remember saying energy's moving through and out. It's just releasing, it's just going, and it turned into these sores that released some weird stuff. And so, you know what? I'm just going with it. It's like not gross. It's just reality, right? Everybody farts and it always stinks, right? And so a lot of us are having these weird things. Muscle spasms, often associated with heat. So we're having like, so it starts usually, not always. If you go back in your memory, you might find this is correct for you as well. Twitching on the eyebrow, and then for like a few days or even weeks, then it would go to the other eyebrow for about that same length of time, and then it would just migrate, right? And the twitching just kept moving down until it started going to larger muscle groups. And then we started getting those channel messages from Archangel Michael. Remember, he said that it was the great shaking out. So when we do the shaking thing, what's happening is, so you're a channel of light, right? This light's coming down and it's coming up and it's going, whoa. And in the middle, we got stuff that's not completely in balance anymore because we're at a higher frequency. That's good. And so those things that aren't serving us anymore, they're kind of like in between, in the middle there, and we're kind of like traveling them through and giving them places to go. And so while we're doing that, it causes this whoa kind of vibrational kind of thing. Sometimes it feels like twitching, sometimes it feels like actual vibration. Some individuals are experiencing it as actual shaking. So it's really over the top kind of shaking where they're just their hand is just going. I have noticed the quiver in the torso body down, all the way down. That's been kind of fun. And this quiver of it's the same thing. You're noticing that the energy's flowing through it more. Increased appetite loss reports. Many people talking about just not having any appetite, and then all of a sudden being like, oh, gots to feed, kind of like really super hungry, and like then back to this no appetite again. I am also resonating with this story. I'm the same in this experience, rather. I'm not really hungry anymore either. So that's been really interesting. I've really started to drink coffee again, though. Like, I was so off coffee, and now I'm not, because ding ding, we're not sleeping. Oh my goodness, tired. Like, and it's weird too. Like, I'm like, okay, it's finally bedtime, hooray. And then I get into bed and I'm like, yeah, I'm sleeping and I'm dreaming and now I'm awake. And it's so fast. Like, I'm sleeping 20, 40 minutes at a time. And then I'm awake. And it's not just that I'm like, okay, now I'm rolling around in bed. My body's compelled to then stand up and go. And like, I'm like, I gotta go draw. Why do I gotta draw at 4:44 in the morning? So a lot of us are having this kind of an experience. Speaking of the 444, a lot of us have been reporting the 444 wake up call lately, or 844. That's another one that's been coming through. We're moving away from the Trinity, the limitation of Trinity. That's why we're wrapping all the Trinity ties up and making it so we're all doing everything in threes. And it's become a real important thing, though we come to realization that Trinity is also limitation. And so we're going into the quadrant. Something 4. We're going into 4, and so that's going to be like, really, it's already happening. And remember, when we leave something, it doesn't go all of a sudden it stops and the next thing starts. There's always a transitional period. There's a window of time in the middle where they blend and they mix, just like all your chakras are meant to, by the way. When you allow yourself to acknowledge each chakra and then watch it, but first watch it blend and transition slowly to the next color all the way through, your chakral system, your body will be more energized, you'll have more frequency, and you'll have it'll just be easier to access this stuff. So that's a cool, fun tip. Increased in thirst. A lot of people I've been talking to regarding appetite are just going on this juice thing. They want to drink their food. And everybody who knows me knows that I'm an orange juice girl. Like, that's just, so yeah, I'm juicing it. But I really am not eating any other thing. Coffee. Coffee's not food, I know. Anyway, having a lot of other kind of experiences with the lower body. Okay, so we shifted. A lot of people are still on the right side, and that's not, no side's correct or wrong or whatever. It just is. A lot of people were doing the right side of the body and then started to shift to the left. And so some people are still doing the right or shifting from left to right. We're talking about the hip area and also the organs that are right there and associated with that. Whichever side you're on, what's happening is we are being asked to focus more on the 3 lower chakras. Here's the Trinity again, yeah? So we want to like do the yellow, the golden solar plexus chakra, and that's right above your navel. And then right below your navel, there's the sunset orange one. That's the sacral chakra. And then below that, that's your ruby red root chakra. It's really a cool system that a lot of people just don't want to play with because, hey, third eye open. Let's do higher knowing. And we kind of just count the importance of needing all of the primary chakras in balance so we can, be able to move through each frequency a lot easier, right? And so allowing yourself to focus on this is your body calling out these organs. So you're having like a lot of like gallbladder and liver and kidney and all these kind of things these things are coming forward, and we're noticing some nausea and some stomach and a lot of like indigestion kind of stuff, and weird, like the food world is getting funky for people, and just this way of finding what's most in balance with our new frequency that we're keeping, and at the same time still getting all these solar flares coming in and bringing in extra plasma, so your body needs more water. And so we're containing more water. A lot of people are starting to find that they're having even more of like that Buddha belly bump going on. And that's just all water in there, man, for a lot of people. I've actually been talking to people who are going in and getting procedures done that don't know what's going on. The same thing's occurring for them, and their body's just collecting a bunch of water there in their abdomen, and they're having medical procedures where they're pumping the water out every week. Like, I mean, you can leave it. It's not hurting anybody. And so this is happening to a lot of people. We need to containing more water is more assistive for when plasma light moves through your body, right? Because the higher the water content, the easier this plasma is able to move through. And so it's a good thing. It's like, yay, here's your, padding that you needed. So, allow yourself to do it, and just, listen to your body. A lot of hand and feet activation stuff been reported, and I'm in agreement with that. I'm having a lot of the same kind of experience. And that means like the heating up and cooling off, kind of weird temperature stuff. I'm finding that if I put my feet together like this, like I'm doing my palms, like put the soles together in like a meditative state, and I'll do the same with the same time with my hands, and then just regulate. You'll notice the energy moving through your arm and up into this hand and then into the other hand and all the way around, right? And circling in whatever direction you should choose it to, and doing the same with your legs. This will regulate your body temperature a bit. Most of us are noticing that our core temperature is dropping. So like whatever, they say 96, 97 degrees Fahrenheit is what an internal temperature, core temperature ought to be, or it typically is. And most of us are like down in like the 92, 94 range is more correct for us. And so we're noticing these subtle changes in temperature more. The reason that our core temperature has been dropping over the past few years is that light is cool. So light that's coming in, now we're reaching into a higher frequency, so we're able to reach the light more and contain more light. That's where we're becoming cooler inside, and that's fine. It's just regular. It's okay. As we are noticing that we're containing more light, we're also able to access some frequencies a little bit better as our DNA is turning back on. So remember that 90 to 95% of our DNA was told that it was junk. That was called junk DNA, right? Well, hello, surprise, surprise, it was just in dormancy. And so now, as the solar flares are coming in, and we're using all of the extra water in our body for it to move through our body more efficiently, then these coded DNA, these extra strands of DNA that are being, finally admitted by science that they exist, are coming back online. And for a lot of people, that means all of a sudden they're starting to see things like orbs of light, silhouettes of light, to see certain interesting things. A lot of people are having some really extraordinary experience. And often when we first start to see beings, actual beings, they do look like a shadow. So feel into it with your heart, just because it's a shadow doesn't mean it's bad. Allow yourself to just know in your heart what their presence is, like how, send out that love. That energy that you hold right here just before you say I love you to somebody that you love a lot, pull that up, do that, and say it. You can use your words, I love you, and you send the I love you out. And if the energy is equal to this love or better, or even more, if they're there in love, they'll send back love, amplified by quite a lot. And if they are not of love, then they will flee, for they just don't want to be in that energy. So then you can feel into it. A lot of other kind of things. We're noticing our connections, psychic connections with one another is coming more online, and there's a lot of questions about privacy and having conversation. And just to let you know that it's a conversation like that happens when someone chooses to answer the phone. you know, and so it can't happen by force. And so as an energy comes in, if you're having a conversation, do not feel bad. And it happens so quickly. A lot of conversation happens in such a brief amount of time that there is nothing about looking around your house and seeing what you're doing. It's being within your heart space. And so you can exchange that information. A lot of other things that have been going on, like this neck stuff. What's up with the neck, people? Oh my goodness. I know we're going in the throat chakra, hyperdrive. Now we're going into the fours. As the four giants are starting to rise up, we're going to find that they're going to be in this place more and more. But something's up with this. So this neck, this is the area in the back behind your neck, right here, the spot. Here's your head, here's your neck kind of spot. This is that dream chakra space, right? That's where our soul enters into our body. Is from what I understand is the appendage that the soul goes in through. Something's going on with this connection to this dream state. This is the same spot that in the movie The Matrix, they plug people into the Matrix. This area is having some type of an upgrade. I don't know what it is, but it has to do with this druid stuff. And so I'm really interested to find out what's going on with that. The back alignment stuff. So the back, what's going on for a lot of people is now they're understanding their energetic chakras, or their energetic wings. And so, which is true, you have a lot of chakras, by the way. You have a lot more than 7. And so these wings are coming on, and they're coming into a use, and it's causing a lot of back alignment stuff and friction and motion. There's another side to this as well. Is so as we're clearing our breastplate and we're opening up this plate, remember the sacral plate? This is important, useful, beautiful ceremonial plate that's here. You have 2 also on the back, and those are your shoulder blades. And so those plates are now becoming more accessible. As those plates are being cleared off, we're going to notice a lot of shifting and stuff. And what's coming through for that, the clearing for that to be cleared, is the need for us to look into, feel into the energy of past lifetimes when there's been betrayal. A lot of this betrayal that we're now chomping through is having to accept or to listen to or to notice a story so you can release this story. And this particular story is this witch's wound that had gotten brought up a while back, but now it's coming back again. So there's a deeper level of healing. We call it the witch's wound because this is one of the words that was used for the persecution of the people that were speaking the truth, that were using higher skills, ascension abilities, and things like this. And so a lot of individuals having that betrayal where those who they felt close to, that they were family even with, were reported by them and brought to burn at the stake or whatever had occurred for their experience. And so we're finding now it's time to heal that. And so the betrayal of the stabbing in the back, right? That's why we feel that, and that's why they say that. So this whole back related area also has to do with this at the same time of having energetic wings coming online. So everybody's got this different frequency, and not everybody's in the same alignment, but that's something that's occurring for a lot of people. This ear thing is becoming really pronounced for me, where it's popping a lot, and I also need to pop my ears a lot, as if the altitude's been changing. This typically happens when we raise our frequency up. And now, as we raise our frequency up, because we've already raised it up so much, that we're noticing as we raise up, we're going into a very euphoric state, where our body is noticing a euphoric sensation. And there's a lot of scandal associated with this topic because it's a very romantic and private in nature kind of sensation. However, this expression is what it feels like. This physically euphoric sensation is what it feels like to be in what people are calling 9D, I suppose, is the right word for that. And this is something that everybody has access to. And that's why a lot of times in this astral spiritual state, we'll feel this very euphoric physical sensation. I'm finding this is an important topic to bring up because everyone's seeming to have it. And having it spontaneously in random places, and also noticing the exchange with other energies. Not in physical touch often. We're talking about a sensation expression of energy from across a distance in most occasions. And so this is something else that's happening. As we're healing and working through all of these different chakral areas, we'll notice too that it's really useful to walk barefoot outside if you can. If you cannot do this, it's useful also to bring soil into the home. This is called earthing, and now they're prescribing it or suggesting it in many circles. It's also a process of ionization that occurs because when we get solar flares, we are just pumped full of all of these positively charged ions, which our body does not like. And so when we go and step on the soil or put our feet on the soil with the large pores of the soles of our feet, the exchange occurs very rapidly, where the earth will absorb all the positively charged ions and then replace it with the negatively charged ones. The positively charged ions are static electricity, and also it feels like kind of energy. It's really uncomfortable, and like you don't really fully realize it until it gets turned off. It's like someone's turning off that annoying noise in the back of the house that you didn't really know that it was messing with you until it finally stopped. And you're like, oh, thank goodness. That kind of sensation. And so that's why people go on about going out into nature. This is a way to do this. It's really cleansing and clearing. Trees are out there to help us out. Plants. I know a lot of people are going into the colder months now, and so some of these options are becoming less and less available. That's why I want to talk about that for right now, is just consider perhaps bringing some soil into the home. I know people who've used like little kitty litter bucket kind of things, and they just put their feet in it. You don't have to have that much, and it's just really useful. So there's a lot more going on and a lot more that's going to come, keeping in mind that we're coming up onto the equinox, and so this is going to be a really awesome, powerful time. And if you're down in the Sedona area, this Todd Medina and the Soulology group are down there doing this really cool thing. Look into his channel to see what they're doing down there in the beautiful Sedona area. Happy equinox, and just know that this energy is going to continue to move through. We're going to have some powerful days ahead of us, and we're just getting started. We're doing this together, all of us. You're not alone. And it can feel really distressful and wondering what's going on with your body when your heart's having these palpitations and your lungs are doing these weird things and all this stuff. But know that we're all purging out here. We're all releasing. And just to let yourself cry, to let your heart dance, and to connect with us, your brothers and sisters on this journey, because you're not alone. I'm sending you so much love. Don't give up. Aho blessings.